Hey everyone, let's build the car wash by Lego City. This is set number 60362, contains 243 bricks. And the set was provided to me by the Lego Group for early review, and that's what it looks like what we're going to be building today. So, I already have it unboxed. This is part of the unboxing and review. Well, this section here is going to be just strictly that. So we do have two manuals here and a set of stickers. That doesn't look too bad, so I think I can survive that one. And yeah, so that's bag 1, 2, 3, and 4. How am I going to move this stuff around? Well, let's see here together. Let's not lose the stickers. This is bag 4. We're going to slide this over here. Here's 3, and I'm interested in 1. So, well, the bad thing about having rubber parts on a counter is they'll hang up. And the head just went a-rolling around. So if you're up from my main channel, you come over here to watch the build, this is pretty much how I do things. So this is bag 2 here, I believe, or 3. Well, we won't know. I think it is. I'm already confused. That might be 4, and that's 3. So that might be 2, and this is 1. Okay. And the build is broken down into 4 partitions, so we should be able to build this pretty easily, and that's where we're going to start. With bag 1. Bag 1, I think it already does a figure, so we start that one right away. And yeah, let's get going. Let's build it. And let's. This is probably going to be my second set that I built. The first build that I have, it depends on the order, is on my main channel because the build was short. And I have a bunch of sets coming in for review. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with them. But I'll tell you one thing. I got the campground done. I got the boat done. I got a bunch of goodies done. All the tutorials are done and everything. So I got everything finished on that. And she's done. So a lot of things are getting completed here. And so we're going to set her off to the side. So in order to wash our car, we're going to have to build this thing first. And I'm looking to see if this is going to be one of those family builds. I don't know if it's going to be a multiple person build by any means. But we will see. And the whole goal about these, for those who are just tuning in or watching me on here, is to see how good the build quality is. You know, if you're thinking about buying this set. And yeah. So, I've been cranking out tutorials, mostly small accessory stuff that people seem, they've already expressed their feelings. They don't care much for the small stuff. But when it comes to building the big tutorials or the big mocks, I already have those pieces in my library where I can come in and build whatever I need. And we're going to put, these gauges are always hard to center on there, and there you go. And this goes here. Yeah, I'm on a deadline right now, and I'm kind of angry with Lego in a way because they send this stuff within a week. They say they try to give it to us within they want to give us 2 weeks to assemble all the stuff, but when you have a giant lot of Lego to go through to build, well, it can get pretty tight. So I'm going to try to race through these without degrading my building experience on this stuff. And I already did one earlier. It was a smaller one. It was a pretty good build, so we're going to see how well this one is. And it's like 101 today, and it's hot. So looking at these nice cool colors is kind of refreshing. If I can get that on there. And yeah. And this goes on here like this. So what is this goofy thing? Well, it's obviously a part of something, so it snaps on. Like we're building the car next. I try to avoid using these type of chassis in my tutorials, but you know what? If these are becoming more and more common, I may just start using those more. And I keep getting stuff wanting to roll into the other piles. So I had a long day at work. I'm tired. I only had like 4 hours of sleep. I am beat. But I need to de-stress. So I'm trying to getting things done here. But I got a lot of projects done. I got the campground done, like I mentioned. I got the boat. I got a vehicle tutorial. I got a bunch of vehicles that I want to build and can slowly kind of compiling up a parts list for them in terms of gathering pieces to build them. And yeah, trying to get, prioritize the stuff. And I got sets that range from 70 pieces up to over 2,000. So I am going to have my work cut out for me next few weeks. So you're going to see a bunch of tutorials on, and not tutorials, reviews. You're going to see a bunch of set reviews, more set reviews than there will be tutorials, unfortunately. But for the one guy that was complaining about my tutorials are ridiculously easy, why don't I make them tougher? Well, your wish will be granted, because now I'm kind of backed into a corner, and all the good builds now are literally going to take a few days to put together. So, if you're not into really rigorous tutorials, these may not be for you. Even I was struggling doing the prototypes. I thought these are really good ideas I want to share, so yeah, that's pretty much what I did. And I'm glad now I got all that stuff done. Matter of fact, I'm done with all the summer tutorials. I may have like 2 or 3 more left I'd like to put in there and move the other ones around. Well, we'll see what I can do. And I'm not going to put my tutorials last. The tutorials will come before the reviews. And Lego, I know you watch these, I'm sorry, but I prefer to build customs more than anything. But maybe this set here would be good for a custom build, And this is like your generic garden variety Lego City car we're building here. Just a one-person, one-seater vehicle, what I call compact. And yeah. And we need to get ourselves a sticker sheet. Okay. Me. It must be a custom license plate. Jay, do you have to put the stickers on there? Yes, I do. It's part of the review process. And I can't just skip out on the stickers. There you go. And this goes here. Matter of fact, though, I have to tell you, though, building cars for me is a bit of a challenge, but writing up the building guides for cars, it goes easy. Well, there's supposed to be a piece that goes in there. It's easy to build cars. And you got to be careful you hold on to this. It's already starting to split apart. And one of the things I'm grading on is the build average, or is it above average, or is it great, excellent? So far, it just feels average to me. And average is a good thing. There's nothing bad about it, and there's nothing good about it. It's just average. It's an average build that anybody can build in some spare time. So that's what I'm referred to as average for those who don't know. And is it keeping my interest so far? Yes, it's keeping my interest. Maybe especially after a long day. Oh, I guess I already had those on there. I wasn't supposed to put those on there early. But so far it's not a bad build. I'm just being a little bit of a klutz today. And I gotta say this. I don't know if you're watching these. I don't know if you're watching these, Karen, but I really appreciate you being a long-time supporter of my main channel. I appreciate it. And then there's Dan. I've noticed you've been commenting a lot, as well as Janet, on both my tutorials and my reviews. So you guys and gals get the scoop on everything I do. You know how many people that don't know that? They'll watch just my tutorials and skip the reviews, and vice versa. And I'm like, that doesn't do you any good. You got to watch them both, because You may see these parts in a future tutorial. Well, that just fell apart. That's one bad thing about it. So it gets dinged down to just flat out average now. The car is kind of brittle. But yeah, I just been trying to get things done with the tutorial wise. At least I'm done with I think I only have like 14 videos left to film, you know, for the year. So all the fun stuff now is going to happen. I know there's some of you who don't like the furniture builds. I understand, but you know, when I build a new mock or something like that, I want to have furniture. Sometimes the furniture does come out of a mock that failed. So instead of just tossing the furniture builds to the side, I just build them anyways. I think this is more of like maybe what is it, a hatchback or something? I don't know. And then, so I have a week to put together 13 sets. I kid you not. Lego says they try to send this stuff out in a timely manner. Well, not when I have like 5 days to get them done. Today is, I think, the 15th of April, or no, it's 15th of May 2023. And yeah, that's not a whole lot of time for when these are going to be published. And I don't know what order these are going to be in. Usually I release the most interesting ones on certain days. See this tile rolled in there. So that's what I try to do. And then you could put your minifigure in there too. Well, I'm not going to put the minifigure in there, and the reason being is because I got to do the review. And these are the parts that are remaining, and I need to scarf up more of those cool yellow stud flowers. Even Dan could probably use those for his Minecraft builds. And see, that's the thing I like about this channel. I get to talk to you guys and gals like this. So, bag one does the vehicle, this weird thing, and this gal. Alright. So, I'm assuming bags 2, 3, and 4 are in here. So we got ourselves the car wash attendant. And then I believe that that's bag 2. Well, that answers my question. So far, the build's keeping my interest. That's good news. It's nothing boring or lame or anything. And the one thing I always like to do and point out, you know, is this going to be an entertaining build, or is this going to be something that I just want to hurry up? Just, you know, besides the fact that I got to rush and get all this stuff done, that's pretty much what it is. And we are missing a head. Where did it go? Well, of course, it'd have to roll on the floor. Okay. And it's like one-sided heads for most of these. There you go. I got him put together. Oh, he needs a broom, huh? Yeah, I know there's a lot of guys out there who hate the reviews that I've been doing. But, you know, they have to understand is that, you know, all the tutorials you watch on my YouTube channel are, you know, where do I get the parts from? You know, that's not, you know, I don't hide anything. It's nothing secret. Like, I got a question asked twice today. Jay, where do you get the awesome parts to build these creations? And it was something new, and I thought, you're kidding me, right? I'm looking around, checking for hidden cameras somewhere. I'm like, really, seriously? I don't hide anything. Like any of these newer parts like this that that are not published, if a part is not published, it does not go in any of my newer tutorials. So like I have a set of tutorials right now I've been building, and some of the parts haven't really been released yet on Pick-a-Brick. So that tutorial gets bumped until a later date. And I have a bunch of tutorials that I've been filming. I forgot to mention this in the part exploration. That 2x2 tile is printed. Yeah, let's get these going. At least it's in the evening. This is not like an early morning build. But I am dropping a lot of parts today. Lots of parts. So, okay. And see how well this goes here. And my apologies about the angles on these type of videos. These are just meant to be raw and cut, and just me here to sit and talk about things while I'm building, and pretty much what it is. And the build on this, like I said, the manual's easy to follow and stuff like that. And that is a floor drain, that tile there. It goes right smack dab in the middle. Well, that's fun and dandy, but this is not all tiled around here. How's the water going to get in it? It's going to have to hop that lip to get in there. So on the front of the box, this looked like a very big car wash, and I'm hoping that's going to be the case, because so far this seems kind of, it doesn't seem too large. You know, I don't understand when people do reviews or they do first impression videos. I don't like those. I can't do first impressions because I'll look at the set and I'll look at the box. Oh, this looks like fun, and you build it, it's not good. Or you look at the set on the box thinking, yeah, this doesn't look like a really good build, but you build it and it ends up being a great build. So you don't know until you do it. So we got to make 2 of these little squishy things for the car wash. These go in like that right there. I'm not sure. Probably going to use them for like a spring action type thing in here. Yeah, I have one set that I got to do that's got over 2,000 pieces, and my goodness, I'm going to have my work cut out for me. So you're going to see a multiple part series on something that big. Where these are just kind of like, I just build them in one sitting and get them done. And I have this. Boy, that's really bad printing right there, Lego. But, well, what are we complaining about? Lego's getting rid of the, looks like we're building 2 of these. So we're doing this goofy thing again here. So we're going to have to build 2. Let's make sure. Yeah, you're going to have to build 2. So just note, pay attention to how many are in the picture. I never understood that with Lego, why they do that. I think it's for little kids to follow, but when it comes to an adult, I just see the first one, I just assume, I don't see any numbers by it, and that's pretty much what it is. So, the first impressions for me on this set, it looked pretty interesting on the box. Okay, it looked okay. But I hate to think it's going to be small, which, you know, I have a feeling it is. Oh, they do have a 2X back here. Well, that doesn't do you any good. And one thing I've noticed, though, is the build's a bit slow. So, and that does degrade a little bit on the build experience, too. All right, so this goes in here. We're just going to prep these up now, get them going. I like these little things. I've been looking to get a couple of these, but I only have like 4 of them, and I keep these packaged separately from any kind of part, just to be safe, to keep them safe. And 2 bushings go on the top. Just be very careful here. So you don't want to crunch these little spikes in here. You'd really ruin these. I don't know how durable they are, but kind of keep that sturdy. Yeah, that just came apart. But this is probably more of like an inspiration set here than anything else to make your own stuff here. Okay, and then after those are done, you stick them in here. So these indeed here are like your little spring action things. How are you going to put those in there? Just press down at the bottom, don't press on this. So these right here are going to be meant to do. I don't think that whole thing's supposed to move, or it could be. So what I'm doing here is I stick it in the bottom hole first, and then I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to press this in, kind of keep this part down here, use the tile as a guide and just shove it in there like that so we don't break anything. You don't want to break, because these parts are kind of rare and I don't want to break them. That'd be my mistake. And then you don't want to do that. So now we got the little spring things. This is just meant to give it a little bit of spring in action there. And that's bag 2. So bag 2 does the base of the car wash. Not too bad. All right, now we're going to move on to bag 3. It doesn't really tell you what you're doing, so you just have to kind of assume here. So that's bag 3. That's bag 3 there, so we're going to get onto that. And everything is broken down in such a way where there's not a whole lot of parts. You're not, well, it just feels like that's rubber or something there. But you're not being overwhelmed with like literally 400 or 500 pieces in a bag. So I think this is meant for just a slower builder, you know, like a child to build this, to erect the set together. I'm assuming this is probably to hang the broom on, but I'm just guessing at this point. Okay. Well, I hope it's not one of these city sets that's really brittle. So, how do I keep up with all the sets? You know, what do I do? You know, how do I try to keep the flow going on the sets? There's a way I do it, and I just use a spreadsheet. It's kind of the nerdy way of doing things, but it makes the builds a lot easier. Like I log in the set number, the amount of pieces the set has. Like this has 243 bricks. When is its due date? When am I allowed to publish it? And when is my projected publish date? That's what I start on, and then I just go from there. And you know, it's, for some that may be a little too much, but when you get like a bunch of sets in one offer, it makes it a lot easier. So you can keep track of the stuff that you get through the ambassador program. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I skipped a step. There's supposed to be a bushing that goes in there. I went a little too fast. But yeah, it's, you know, and then after that, it's paperwork. I finally got caught up on my paperwork just so I can get more. So now, in order to make this pretty exact, I'm just going to tack that on there, line up these holes. I'm just going to squeeze this down here. There we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, you know, that old thing, or Jace, you know, people send you this stuff for free. You know, Lego's nice. And no, they're not nice. I still got to fill up paperwork. My time is valuable. So I got to set some time to fill out the reports. And a lot of people don't know this. If you have a thing that you want to tell the Lego group, or if you have a concern about a set or something like that, you can always contact me and I can forward that to Lego. A lot of people don't know that. Plus, I need to put that on my channel too. You know, that you can contact me about Lego issues. And I don't work for Lego or anything like that. I'm not a contractor. I just do this. I'm just an ambassador, and they send me stuff for review. So, you know, don't think I'm a Lego employee by any means. I'm a software engineer. I don't do I'm not a toy reviewer or anything. And okay, there it is. So if you got an issue like getting scratched bricks in a set, if you're in my Let's Build It Discord server, you can always throw your concerns there, and then I'll go right to Lego and be like, hey, you know, we got a problem. You know, right. This goes in here. So this is meant to kind of push your car through. I don't think one of my cars are going to fit in here because they're usually 6 studs wide, and I think these are only designed for 4 studs. And that will degrade the build experience a bit, so I don't know. We'll have to look at it and see when I do the review. Some of this glass even came in kind of botched up too. So there we go. Now the blue for these is fine for a car wash. That makes more sense. For like an office building, I don't really see the appeal of it. Yeah, see, now they have numbers again. So I don't know what they're doing here. Is this written by 2 other people? I don't know. Okay, well, so far so good. I mean, it's there. It hasn't fallen apart and crumbled on me yet. So could this be built solo? That's bag 1, and this is bags 2 and 3. So I would have to say this is not really a family build. Not by any means, and that's what we have remaining. That's not too bad. Now we're going to finally move on to bag 4, and we still haven't got to that other part of the sticker sheet yet, so we'll see here. And looks like bag 4 does the roof. So maybe you could have one person build this, one person build bags 2 and 3, and one can build 4. It's up to the parent to decide out who gets to build what and distribute the build. And yeah, I'm kind of surrounded by mocks right now, well, tutorials. I got a few that I haven't really gotten to filming yet because I'm not sure how I want to do them. So at this point, they're just simply mocks. I can make a video, put them on my channel, and say, this is what you're going to be seeing in the future. Those type of builds. Okay. Yeah, so far this is a relaxing build for an adult. This is not going to be something that's going to be strenuous for a young builder by any means. Maybe with the little bristle things over there, you have to be careful with them not to crunch those in, but other than that, it's not too terribly bad. Oh, and yeah, as far as from my car is concerned, I got the passenger doors all torn apart, and I got everything to work. I just got to re-grease it, and with it being 100-something degrees, it won't be too hard to grease it, but I need to do that in some place shaded to do, and I just need to buy a new set of door speakers. I'm trying to see if I can restore the factory ones, and what I did with the factory speakers, the paper on them is kind of brittle, so I just put a little bit of polyurethane, like a varnish on them, to reinforce the fibers, and hopefully I can salvage those. But if I can't get them to sound any better by doing the redoing the foam around them and stuff, then that's it. I'm going to buy a new set, which I'm thinking about just doing anyways, and just put new stuff in the doors, so I don't have to worry about it later on. So this is a modular piece. And I'm trying to think, did I have any rude comments the other day? Oh wait, these are printed. I didn't mention those. Those would make great toppers for air conditioners, or what else? What else would you use those for? Airplanes. So there you go. Put that right there. Okay. Maybe that's what they are, to simulate motors. A lot of people don't get, though, this is enjoyable, and there's some out there who sadly this is their job. Yeah, it's not my job. Must be the thing to dump the soap in, huh? Oh, wait a minute, there's a jumper plate that goes on the top. So maybe that's what you do to dump the soap on the client's car. We'll play around with it though when we're done, and then I'll do the formal review later because I need to still fix me a dinner. I'm not sure. I'm tired of chicken. I've already had enough of that, and now I want some beef or something like that. I think I'm neglecting you here. I'm seeing what I'm doing. I'm doing it over here, which you can't see what I'm doing. So I got to put it over that. So you got two separate trays. Now we got to build two of these. Must be for the air dry. I did use propellers similar to this for a boat, but they had the cross axle in them. This one does not. Kind of wish I used these, but I didn't have any of those at the time. All right, so this is used to dry off the car. So we're getting air dried. Where's the hot wax at, huh? Of course, the paint job on my vehicle is going to need a little bit more than that, but I watched on the news that the average car on the road here in the States is 12 and a half years old, and I thought, well, mine's is more than double that. But if it's still reliable, there's no need to get a new one. Of course, I need to get a new one because gas is expensive. And then I got to put a sticker on that. I'm going to start with the top here and then work my way down so I don't get on the studs. And there you go. Now, as much as I didn't like putting that on there, I had to do it. And then this goes like this. And we're almost done here, guys and gals. All right. And then the big tiles go here. So these are just tacked in here. You got to be careful. Okay, maybe I thought I was putting those on wrong, but oh yeah, how was everyone's Mother's Day, huh? Mine was pretty good. I'm not a mom or anything like that, or a dad for that matter, but I spent time with my parents because you never know when that dreaded day is going to come. So I've been taking advantage of that. You know, when we were kids and teenagers, we try to avoid our parents. When you get older, it's like, well, I don't want to do that. And then, okay, so they used all this here to put all the soap suds on. So these are just randomly just put on here, huh? So, yeah, I've been thinking about doing 4K videos, but a lot of people don't watch the reviews. I'm not going to waste my time yet. So if you're still waiting for the 4K stuff, you know. Okay, how does that go on? Okay, it goes on here like this. And then it goes on top of here. So the dryers go on the back here. And you're going to have to wiggle this, and this doesn't quite line up. So it's meant to take apart. And then I was right. These here are for your ice creams. So you throw, you know, how do you think you're going to keep business in a car wash? You're going to use the ice cream in there. And that's it. And it shows you with the magical hand from outer space comes in here and just tips those down, and you have to pick all that up. So if you're one of those parents, you don't like picking that stuff up, there you go. And then this thing here goes right here. I'm sure that this is probably meant to be spliced with other parts of a city or something. And then, well, I can't show you that page, that's secret. But there you go. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Two of these sets are not going to be until later. Well, okay. Don't want to do any spoilers for you. Who wants a spoiler? All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to change the angle here. This is going to be bag 4 in the review, or the rough review of the set. When I do this, it'll be on a turntable on the main channel, but so we got our gas station attendant, car wash attendant, and then we got the car. So I'm going to leave her out because I'm going to do the formal review. And basically, you're supposed to put the car in the back here, and you're supposed to go like this. But I'm literally forcing that through to do that. That's really kind of brutal. I was expecting this to barely touch this. No, this is really grabbing on. You really got to shove that in there. And then here's the ice cream. Yeah, if you're a parent, have fun picking that up. And let's get those out of the way, and then you can pull your car through. Well, if your car's not straight in there, it's obviously going to tear stuff up. So that is pretty brutal. I think it's the tires. So obviously you couldn't put a 6-stud wide vehicle in there as the mirrors and stuff. So these tires just stick out too much for this being this type of car. I mean, that's something you'd see like on a big pickup truck. So yes, it does have some play value. It's playable. Let's dive right on into the review here. Is the set playable? Yes, it is. You do get a functional car, and the car wash is functional. You get the fans to air dry it. You got the soap that falls out from the little holders on top, and you got the action of these things here. This seems a bit stiff. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Everything's scaled for minifigures though. So for play value, yes, it's got a good play value, but I'm sure that the play value in this is going to be short-lived. Because it's basically, you drive your car in, it just scrubs it clean. But which doesn't make any sense though, and I just realized this. Do I even have it backwards? Well, maybe I do. No. Okay, this doesn't make sense. So here's the box, here's the scrubbers, but they have the air dry in the back, so we dry the car before we wet it down. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe the designers never took their car through a car wash before. Usually they bring it in this way here. Usually there's some sprayers in this area. And this right here actually scrubs the car with the soap and stuff. Then you got your final rinse, and then you have this last. So I would say that this 8-stud wide car wash essentially is supposed to be about that wide. Well, it looks like we're going to have to make a mock out of this one, which leads to mock value. I'm sure you can probably expand on this and make this bigger, so you'd have to buy a couple more of these sets. So this car wash is probably going to do very little to wash any kind of car. And make it a little wider too, so you can use 6-stud wide vehicles in there. I don't know why they didn't do that, but it's... So for play experience, there is some play value. Build quality, except for these things crunching in and stuff like that. I'd say the build quality in this one's average. What about... you know, did it keep my interest for build experience and stuff? Yeah, it kept my interest. So I would say it's a relaxing build. It's an easy build. You know, so it's broken down in such a way that you can easily build it. There's only a few sets of stickers, or two stickers in total. That's not too bad. But for me, the set it's okay. It's your mediocre Lego City set. Open back. Well, this is obviously going to make sense. If you've ever been to one of those gas stations where you pay a couple of bucks and you pull your car through here, that's essentially what this is. It's just compact. So it's obviously expandable for mocks. Could you drop this in a city? You could. If you have a gas station, you can drop this in there and it would be okay. This is pretty much a standalone unit. So you could pretty much just take this, set it down on a road plate or something, and there you go. Nothing really wrong with it here. Okay. So for me personally, it's an average set. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the retail price of this, I'm assuming, is probably about $20, $15 to $20. I don't know what it is. Even at 20 bucks, yeah, I might be pushing it. 15 might be okay, but 20 for what I'm getting here, yeah. I mean, probably for a child, this is going to be very entertaining. For how long, I don't know. But for me, yeah, as an adult, it was okay, you know. So yeah, I'm happy with the build. It's not too bad. Well, tell me what you guys and gals think. You think this set is worth between 15 to 20 bucks? Is it an interesting build? I do see some mock potential, but for my style of building personally, yeah, it's a little lacking there. But yeah, you tell me. Tell me in the comments what you think.